Paul Goldsmith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's very kind. I'm very pleased to be able to speak on this bill. I'll hang on to the podium here. Thank you. This is the effort and the outcomings of a very hard-working minister and a government that's getting on with legislation. We're not going to be taking 10 years to get on to this important issue that affects unlike the Labour Party and previous government, when we're talking about the EEZ zone around New Zealand, the fourth or fifth largest in the world. We're not going to wait until the end of the Olympics, as our friend from the Green Party suggested we should do, before we got on with any announcements. We're about getting on with the job and not avoiding the issue, because these are difficult issues that we need to resolve and deal with in this country. At the end of the day, New Zealand does face some continual dilemmas about how it balances and weighs up the importance of economic growth and the desire to retain and protect the natural environment that we've inherited. And so that's what we continue to do every day, and what this bill is all about. And we can see from the SOP 102 where the Greens are coming from, and that is simply here we see we've got a suggestion here from Mr Hughes, I believe it is, that basically says no person may undertake oil or gas exploration or production in depths of more than 200 metres. So that's it. Just simple. Just don't do it. Don't do it. So their attitude, their response to New Zealand going and growing is just don't do it. And stop it all. And it's the same with fracking. Don't do it. The Americans can be lifting their standard of living by getting access to shale gas and getting on with things, getting on with the world, transforming their economy and making their economy much stronger, but not in the Greens' world. It is simple, no, just don't do it. And I suppose you've got to respect that approach. At least they're consistent, they stick to their guns, and their attitude is always the same. From within this House, we've heard plenty of criticism of the slight contradiction that there is, though, however, between the desire to provide jobs and for people in New Zealand and communities around New Zealand to provide work and opportunities for people, and this continual desire to say no to everything that comes along. So that's the Greens' position. Labour, restatement and consistency is very important in this House. So people want to know. People want to see consistency, and I see from the Labour Party, they of course. They continually on this issue here have been raising a lot of red herrings on this, talking about the UN legislation. We are relying on the advice of the Legislative Advisory Committee, and we're relying on the advice of MFAT. We've been very clear on this, that this is not inconsistent with our international contributions, and I'd certainly prefer to take their advice on this topic than from that legal expert from the East Coast, Moana Maki. And I'm not saying anything, I'm not criticising her legal abilities by any stretch, but I am more inclined to take the advice of the Legislative Advisory Committee. And that has been consistent all along, that this bill here is consistent with our international. The most surprising thing, though, and I was greatly reassured to hear that New Zealand First, who were breathing fire and brimstone against this bill for a long extended period, have now seen the have seen the opportunity to reconsider and have come in behind this legislation following the SOPs that were elegantly expressed and brought to this House by the Minister, Amy Adams. And so on that basis, I'm very supportive of this bill, and I think we should get on with it and get this legislation in place in time and deal with an issue that has been left adrift for so long, and get a clear understanding of what is and isn't able to be done in our economic exclusive zone. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.